Hello there. So I was casually minding my own business, and then the news came out. The author of the infamous Twilight saga, a series targeted at teenage girls, has announced that the long-awaited Midnight Sun, a retelling of Twilight from Edward's perspective, is gonna be released later this year. And as I was contemplating the news and thinking about the days when the Twilight saga was super popular, I came to the realization, and I have no idea how I haven't thought of it before, but we as a society sort of hate teenage girls. Let me explain an example of Twilight. For those of you who have been living under the rock, Twilight is a romance-centered paranormal book series targeted at teenage girls. The books and the movie adaptations were super popular between years 2008 and 2012. The series has its problems, like the male lead being an overly obsessive vampire stalker who liked watching his object of admiration sleep, but it also has fun parts, like the portrayal of experiencing the first love. And back when the Twilight fanbase was big and teenage girls were obsessed with it, there was an opinion shared by many that Twilight books were a waste of paper and the screaming twilight girls were stupid. The story has its problems, I don't deny that, but I don't think that the main reason why the book and the movies got so much criticism was because of its content. I think that the main reason is because of the themes the book explored and the fandom behind the saga. Twilight saga had an insane, obsessive teenage girl fandom, that's one. And two, the series is just girly in every way. It is romance-centered, it has a weak female, damsel in distress archetype sort of character. When I looked at the highest grossing films in the last 15 years, I realized that Twilight movies were the only movies targeted at teenage girls that were popular. Out of all other highest grossing movies, there were just two other movies targeted at females, a romantic musical comedy Mamma Mia and the Titanic 2012 re-release. The only other female-centered popular movies in the last 15 years were Disney movies, whose target audience is princess-loving young girls, and The Hunger Games and Marvel DC female superhero movies, which are action-packed and have a large male audience, feature females of a strong and independent archetype. One is good with a bow, others have superpowers, they know how to kill people, and there isn't a lot of romance in those movies. So Twilight movies were the only popular movies in the last 15 years that had a lot of romance in it, pandered to teenage girls, and had a weak female character archetype. And by a coincidence, I'm sure, those are the only movies that received so much hate over the years. This reminded me of a quote by Virginia Woolf. It is the masculine values that prevail. Speaking crudely, football and sports are important. The worship of fashion, the buying of clothes, is trivial. And these values are inevitably transferred from life to fiction. This is an important book, the critic assumes, because it deals with war. This is an insignificant book because it deals with feelings of women in a drawing room. Our culture likes to shame all things female. Think about it. Girls, women often say, I like watching The Bachelor. I know it's trash, but it's sort of my guilty pleasure. I'm sorry. I know that Twilight is problematic in some ways, but I still like reading it, you know? I like Nicholas Sparks novels and adaptations. I know that they are cheesy, but there's just something about them. We have this recognition when we talk about entertainment targeted towards teenage and young adult women that these things are trash. When we talk about these pieces of entertainment, we often experience shame. We feel like we have to justify ourselves for watching or reading that. But when we talk about male-targeted entertainment, we do not feel the same way. Transformers is basically a male fantasy, a tale of a teenage geeky loser guy who got not one but two incredibly hot girls. Think about it, when Megan Fox was fired or she quit whatever from the third movie, she was replaced by a Victoria's Secret angel with no prior acting experience, and allegedly she quit because she was uncomfortable with over-sexualization of her character. The way these movies portray female characters to appeal to its core audience of teenage boys and young men is problematic, to say the least. But it's fine to like and enjoy Transformers, no one's ashamed of it. But the female fantasy of a sparkly vampire who loves you more than anything in the world, the female fantasy of a first love, describing the spark of electricity you experience when you touch your crush, the excitement you experience when you hold your boyfriend's hand for the very first time, the joy of the first kiss, the shivers of a first night.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
It's trash, it's a waste of paper, the series has problematic elements, and is stupid, and you're stupid for enjoying it. Melissa Rosenberg, the scriptwriter of all Twilight Saga movies, had this to say. People are extremely hard on Twilight. When you start to read the criticism on Twilight, it's just vitriol, it's intense, the contempt. We've seen more than our fair share of bad movies geared towards man or 13-year-old boys. And you know, the reviews are like, okay, that was crappy, but a fun ride. But no one says, OMG, if you go to see this movie, you're a complete idiot. And that is the tone with which people attack Twilight. Also, I'm going to put this screenshot of an article Rosenberg mentioned. You can pause if you want to read this, full article in the description. To be completely fair, I have to admit that a lot of criticism towards female things, including Twilight, comes from no one else but other women. You know, women bashing other women stereotype, or if we speak in modern terms, examples of internalized misogyny. I think that there are two factors to it. First, you know, we female, we like to put other women down because other women is our competition for the best man or whatever. And the second factor is that we as a society, we hate obsessive teenage girls, we hate female character archetypes that don't scream strong and independent, we praise women that put on the pants and act like men. One of the main reasons behind the hate Twilight received was its overly obsessive fandom. And don't get me wrong, the fandom was cringy at times. But it's also a perfectly normal teenage behavior. It's kind of funny. One of the criticisms towards Twilight is that Bella was obsessed with her first love, Edward, but being obsessed with a boy is very common among teenage girls first in love. Similarly, we could see teenage girls in the last decade obsessed with Twilight, with boys bands such as One Direction, Justin Bieber, K-pop. You see a pattern. Being obsessed is a perfectly normal teenage girl behavior. Is it cringy? Yes, but it's also a completely normal phase to go through. But we do not like obsessive teenage girls, and we do not like the things teenage girls like to obsess with, such things as Justin Bieber, Twilight, One Direction, K-pop, you name it. Maybe don't hate on all things female then. Let the women enjoy what they want to enjoy. Let young girls experience completely normal teenage obsessions with boy bands and different book and movie fandoms. It's normal to criticize some pieces of entertainment, but let the young girls enjoy girly things, similarly to how we let boys enjoy things like Transformers. After all, we do not have the same standards when it comes to male-targeted entertainment. We as a society, we fail teenage girls. We demonize normal girl behavior. I used to feel like I had to hide my interests of liking Twilight, liking Barbie movies, liking this one cartoon TV series with fairies and princesses and hot princes from other boys and girls. I hid my interests of reading YA novels whose core audience are teenage girls. Back when I was in elementary school, I talked to boys and I was trying to show them how not like other girls I was and that I enjoyed playing video games. We as girls, we sort of force ourselves into liking more boy stuff, you know, not like other girls hashtag, just to please society. And don't get me wrong, a lot of us enjoy such things as Lord of the Rings, Transformers, Star Wars. But a lot of us also enjoy girlish things such as Twilight and The Notebook, and that's absolutely perfectly normal. In our entertainment culture, with our dislike for all things female and our praise of the more masculine character archetypes, we make girls strong by making them boys. We make them tough and aggressive fighters who don't show their emotions and wear pants. Should we really be surprised when we see so many women become angry feminists? Why are we so surprised when women these days try to make themselves less traditionally feminine? Why? Liking anything inherently female is embarrassing. My female friends and I have experienced shame because we liked makeup, dresses, color pink, and flower patterns. In addition, we liked other female things such as YA novels, including Twilight, The Notebook, Bachelor, and boys bands. And some internalized misogyny time right here. I feel like I have to assert that although I like YA and Twilight, I never like boys bands, Justin Bieber, K-pop, The Bachelor, and The Notebook. I feel like I have to say this because I'm gonna be judged based on my interests. And I shouldn't feel this way. I'm not admitting to liking written porn or anything. So, the lesson of the day, please stop hating on teenage girls. If you shame them enough, you might see them become strong and independent, aggressive feminists who hate on all things traditionally female. Thank you so much for watching this video. This one was probably the funnest to make so far, although probably the most exhausting in the editing process. If you agree with me and if you enjoyed this video, please share it because one video takes over 15 hours to produce and I kind of want to grow a little bit and share my videos. My name is Polina. Goodbye.